Hello, good evening sa mga Pinoy dito sa Amerika and good morning sa Pilipinas. So thank you for waiting for me. So we're gonna talk about the much talk about proposed amnesty bill of Biden, and let's gonna talk about kung paano to makakaapekto sa pending yung application or mga plano yung application. So just to start with our conversation, I'm not here to defend the fairness or whether or not the proposed bill is fair or not. So I'm just here to educate people on what it's all about. That's for Congress to decide whether this will pass or not. So kanina kasi maraming nag-send sa akin ng messages, but it's okay. No? So again, thank you for my family who's watching in Toril, Davao City. So hindi ko na iisahin. But again, thank you for showing interest. And again, maraming salamat din sa inyo na nag-aabang about sa update na to. Okay, so we're gonna start with our disclaimer. So I just want to remind everybody that the materials that I will be showing with you is just only for presentation purposes. I will try to answer your questions. Can you just give me a feedback kung naririnig niyo ako? If I sound okay? So again, marami na nag-join sa atin, so hindi ko na iisahin kasi nga marami kayo. Salamat again. Any specific answer to your question should not be taken as a specific advice to you. But if you want to discuss your case specifically, you could send us a message or set up a formal consultation. Okay? And then, general concepts muna tayo, no? Kasi ito yung sinabi sa atin kanina. So, the president may provide general directions as to what his immigration policies are. But the problem is, any change, only Congress could create, amend, or modify any U.S. immigration law. So, and past presidents have tried this in the past, that they would want to overhaul and improve the immigration process or the immigration processes of the United States, but then again, they cannot do it by themselves. That's why previous presidents create executive orders kasi nababagalan sila sa Congress, but then again, that's subject to challenges in the Supreme Court. No, so again, the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021 is just a proposal. This is what President Biden and his group would want to happen in the next 100 days of his office. But then again, they need Congress to support that. So the strategy that he would want to do is to submit the proposal to Senate first, because it's a Republican-dominated portion of Congress, because he had the Democrats in the lower house. So again, it is just a proposal. I just want to emphasize that because marami nang tumatawag sa office namin, nagtatanong kung kailan sila pwede mag-apply or paano sila mag-apply. But this is not a law yet. So this is just a proposal. and hoping that it gets support from Congress. So again, the president has no power to amend or create immigration laws. It's actually solely on the prerogative of Congress. I was corrected a while ago that there's about 30 million undocumented non-immigrants that may be affected by this, but if you actually look into the proposal, it only shows about 11 million undocumented immigrants who may be benefiting if this law pass. And again, part of the proposal also is to remove alien, the word alien, from the immigration law and to replace it to non-citizens. So again, this is just the summary of what we would actually expect, or at least the general concepts that will actually guide us as we go through the slides. I only have 13 slides prepared. So it should be a short conversation, but then again, the time that I will be spending talking to you depends on the number of questions that you would actually have. Okay, so thank you for giving me the feedback na okay naman pala ako. Okay? So then, this is the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. It's actually the senator from New Jersey who promised to submit this to the Senate the soonest time possible. But as of Friday, wala pang na-submit. So we'll go through this one. So, ito yung famous na Road to Citizenship 5+3. So, the proposal actually says that any foreign nationals who are present in the U.S. on or before January 21, 2021, who had paid their taxes and would pass a criminal and national security check background, number one, may apply for temporary legal status. Second, apply for a green card after 5 years, subject to meeting some requirements, or apply for U.S. citizenship 3 years thereafter. So, pag-usapan natin isa-isa to para mas maintindihan. Now, so, what is interesting though is because number one requirement, sinabi nila, any foreign national who are present in the U.S. as of Friday, 21, 24, 22, basta last week, no? So that's January 21. So, it didn't actually use the word unlawfully present. So, what it means is that yung mga wala ng status sa Amerika, or even those who actually maintain status, if the law pass, this will apply to them. So if we go through, if they have paid their taxes, if they pass the criminal and national security check, wala kang criminal record, that you are not in the lists of some kind of terrorist that would be a threat to national security, then you could potentially apply for a temporary legal status. What does that mean? So if this law passes, bibigyan ka ngayon ng temporary status. It means you cannot be deported anymore, even if you will be apprehended by law enforcement officer. Unlike ngayon na pag wala kang status, you can be detained, no? But with this, if this law passes, bibigyan ka ng temporary legal status. So you exist in the United States as if may status ka. So, yun yung tinatawag natin temporary legal status. So, it only just prevent you from being detained or being deported. Now, may mga tanong na, kung kunwari ba nag-apply ako ng temporary legal status, can I go home to my home country and come back? No. Kailangang ma-maintain mo lang siya. What it gives is actually a temporary protection for you not to be detained, not to be deported, because the new law or the proposed law actually gives you that benefit. Pangalawa, they will apply for a green card after 5 years. So, klaruhin ko lang ulit yung number one, ha? It may apply to both the people who are able to maintain status, or people who are already lost their status. So, which is good thing, no? Because the last amnesties that was implemented in 1986 was kailangan yung mga unlawfully present lang yung mag-benefit. As a matter of fact, the proposal way back in 2012, December, sinasabi lang na those who are unlawfully present as of December 31, 2012. So, ang sabi nila, so what happens if I was still in status in December 31, 2012, but I become unlawfully present, I have unlawful status in January 1, will I be covered? No, because the law specifically says those who are unlawfully present in December 31, 2012. But this one, ang sinasabi niya, those who are foreign nationals who are physically present in the United States. It doesn't mention about the immigration status mo. Kung may status ka ba or nawalan ka na ng status, you may qualify for the proposed bill. Again, alam na natin temporary legal status, you might be able to get that. So yung mga wala ng status, hindi na pwede ma-deport, hindi na pwede ma-detain for as long as wala silang criminal record, nagbabayad sila ng taxes. Apply for a green card after 5 years. So ito hindi pa masyadong klaro, but it sounds like for as long as after you submit your application, you make application for the temporary legal status, 5 years thereafter, you would qualify for a green card. So unlike the 2001 Clinton amnesty bill, they actually require that they have to have a pending application or may nag-file sa kanila whether in the employment-based petition or a family-based petition as of August 1, 2001. But then again, it actually says meet certain requirements, no? So what it actually says is depending ngayon sa Congress kung paano nila nabidibatihan to on what would be the qualifications for people based on 1, 2, 3 to be able to qualify for a green card application. So yun lang yung ibig sabihin ng 3B. Ang letter C naman, so again, as long as you would be able to get your green card, 3 years thereafter, you would be able to apply for citizenship. So that's why the road to citizenship 5 plus 3. So let's see kung may mga tanong kayo dito, no? What would that mean attorney J1 would be able to apply? So again, that's a very good question, no? Would that mean attorney J1 would be able to apply? So again, we don't know the details yet, no? So ang daming debatihan nito because if they are actually giving the people who already lost their status to apply for a temporary green card, I mean, for the green card or qualify for a green card. So would it not be fair? Would it be fair for people who maintain the status who are also physically present in the United States? So again, yung details na yun, pag-uusapan pa sa Congress yun. And depende kung paano nila i-decide yun because it should, based on the wordings of the proposed bill, it should cover everyone, no? Gagawin natin komplikado yung conversation. What will happen to people who by the existing immigration laws now are not allowed to apply for green card because they came to the United States as fiancé visa, but they didn't get married, hindi sila nagpakasal doon sa nagpetition sa kanila, naghiwalay sila, they met somebody else, and nagpakasal sila. So, by law, they are not allowed to apply for green card in the United States. So, another example are people who are actually members of the cruise ship na nag-jump ship and they met somebody na US citizen or green card holder, that group could not also apply for a green card application. So, anong magiging implication niyan ngayon with this bill? No? So again, there are no details as to how this will be implemented if this passes, but that's basically what Congress is for, para pag-usapan nila yung details na to. But generally speaking, ito yung proposal nila. So let's ask more questions. I answer more questions here. Okay, so again, maraming nagtatanong dito kung ano makita ko, yun lang yung sasagutin ko. From Ben Williams, with this include J1 visa holders in the US. Okay, so again, I think I answered that question. It doesn't apply only for the J1 visa holders, but any foreign national who are present in the United States. So again, that's interesting, no? Kasi this will cover a lot of people. Attorney, paano po yung na-deny na petition by marriage? Qualify po ba sila? So, ma'am, what does that mean? So, attorney, paano po yung na-deny sa petition by marriage? Depends on what the reason for the denial, though. So, because if there is fraud, then it could be a different conversation. But fraud, kung totoo naman talaga yung marriage, there is a way to win that argument by filing a misrepresentation waiver or kung ano man. But, ma'am, I would recommend that you send us a message to really understand what that meant because you may not need to wait for this law to pass. If you are married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, we might be able to help you with your misrepresentation waiver. Stephanie, just want to clarify, if you have a green card already, you can apply for citizenship after 3 years in the U.S. Ma'am, very good question then. Again, this talks about the fairness of the proposal, no? So, but again, I'm not in the position to talk about that. That's the role of Congress to decide what will be best for people. Kasi, kung yung unlawfully, kung wala ka ng status, you happen to be physically present in the US January 21, and then 5 years later, meron ka ng green card, then kailangan lang nila na, no, as a matter of fact, ma'am, mas mataas yung ano nila, mas mataas yung paghihintay nila because if you obtain your green card, if you are married to a US citizen, you are eligible already for citizenship 3 years thereafter if you are still married to the same US citizen na nag-petition sa'yo. But if you actually obtain your green card through employment, you only need 5 years from the time you obtain your green card to be eligible for citizenship. Sa kanila, dadaan mo na sila sa temporary legal status, they have to be a green card holder for 5 years, plus 3 years pa later. So, ang total nila, 8 years sila maghintay before magiging citizen. So, sorry if I actually misunderstood the question earlier. But, mas mahaba yung paghihintay nila to be able to be eligible for citizenship. Maribel, attorney immigrant yung anak ko. We applied it last November 1. Lahat na bayarin namin sa credit fees submitted. Bakit po nila mabigyan ng schedule? Okay, ma'am, sorry, mama, it's out of the topic. But, ma'am, maraming delay sa NBC. Hindi lang po yung case nyo ang apektado. But we know what happened. So, pandemic, lack of funds, limitation on the NBC and the embassy level, there's a lot of factors. So, you just have to wait. I also have to know kung US citizen ba yung petitioner mo or green card holder. There's a lot of reasons why there's a delay in putting up a schedule. Madeline, we came legally last 13, but then a few years our visa expired and we're still here. We have kids born here. What can... yeah, ma'am. So again, if this law passes and this will not be changed by Congress, you will be covered by the proposal now. For the benefit of your children who are born here, they are automatically US citizens, but they have to be 21 years old to be able to file for your own green card application. So let's see how this works, no? Geraldine, how about my dad? Is not a citizen and he was a US Navy. I have my J1 visa. So, ma'am, I'm not so sure what the question is, but your dad is already a citizen and you are in status. So, again, the way the wording of the proposed bill, it should cover both the people who already lost their status or who have maintained their status. Luciana, ito yung isang tanong po, how about po yung na-deny sa petition by marriage pero nag-divorce po sila, qualified po ba? So, again, ma'am, no, so, kung nag-apply sila ng marriage but na-deny petition because they actually na-divorce sila, so I would presume, ma'am, before na-decide na approve yung green card nila, or was it before they got separated before the interview? So, again, if you were denied because hindi sumipot yung asawa mo sa interview, then there is no remedy for you. Then technically you are out of status. If this law passes, then you will be covered by the proposed bill. So I will just answer questions related to this topic. So I apologize if I will skip your questions not related to this. Attorney, ko po rin yun ng green card ko for 10 years. Pwede po ba ako mag-apply sa kahit hindi po dumating yung green card ko? Yes. If you are eligible already based on the 5-year residence or the 2-year or based on the 3-year residence because you're married to a US citizen, you don't have to wait for your 10-year green card. You could actually apply for your citizenship. Marlene, so if you have a child who was born in the US, do we still have to qualify for this? So, ma'am, no, it doesn't matter kung may anak ka na US citizen or not. Ang question lang dito is, if you are physically present in the United States on January 21, 2021, nagbabayad ka ng taxes and you have no criminal record, you may be able to apply for the green card, temporary legal status, or citizenship later. So, ang mahaba-haba na lang yung hintayan na yun, that's total of 8 years before ka maging citizen. Because if you are relying on applying for your green card based on having a US citizen child, the child should be 21 years old for them to be able to petition parents. Emily, how long will the proposal be into law and how long is the process of going into legal status? Which is better to wait for my daughter petition? And how long is the waiting time for a parent petition? So, ma'am, maraming details na wala rito, ma'am, no? So, how long will the proposal be into law? We don't know, right? So, again, Biden's team actually says that they would plan to submit this the soonest time possible. As of Friday, wala pang proposal na isubmit sa Senate. Once it passes the Senate, it will be deliberated upon. We don't know how long they will deliberate on this. There should be a version in the lower house. then they would reconcile the two bills. So mahaba-haba pang usapan to, no? So if your daughter is already a US citizen, I would recommend that you file now for your green card application. You don't have to wait for this bill. As a matter of fact, if your daughter is a US citizen, you don't need this bill to be able to maintain your green card. So as soon as yung anak mo is a US citizen, file na agad ma'am ng green card. You don't have to wait for this. Attorney, how about me? Can I apply for it na po ba? Or I still need to wait for my 5th year? Okay, so ma'am, if you got divorced already, then you don't qualify for your 3rd year citizenship. You would qualify, you need to wait for your 5-year physical presence. Tisarias, in my case, attorney, I have my green card and it will expire on 2020, but on February 16, I went home in the Philippines and did not come back anymore, but I want to see my daughter and son. Can I have an amnesty to come back in the US? Mom, if you're already outside the United States, then you will not be covered by this amnesty program, no? Because again, number one requirement is that you have to be physically present in the United States on January 21. Pwede na po ba ako mag-apply ng citizenship this coming March 20 pero June pa po ako. So ma'am, 90 days before your 3rd year green card issuance anniversary, saka pa lang ka mag-a-apply. Our Mr. Anro, Ms. Anro, how about if you have an approved I-130 and before the hardship waiver has been approved, the U.S. citizen spouse divorced her, so is she included in this amnesty? So ma'am, so kung hindi pa na-file yung green card mo and divorce ka, so then there will be no basis for you to apply for the green card kasi hiniwalayan ka ng US citizen spouse or green card holder spouse. So in that case, there is a possibility that you will be run out of status. So then again, if you are in the US as of January 21, this would cover you. So let's just pray na tuloy-tuloy ito. No? Sir, pag 1-year green card po ba, makaka-petition ka na ng parents? No, you have to be a US citizen to be able to petition parents. Vibrant, attorney, if currently waiting for change of non-immigrant status for years, but we are not paying taxes kasi wala na po na work or business here because not allowed as per. Yeah, very good question dito, Vibrant. No, so when they actually pay their taxes, meron namang mga provision na if you actually miss paying their taxes. But if you actually read the proposal, it actually says that after you file for the temporary legal status, you have to wait for 5 years before you would apply for green card. No? So by the time that you would apply for green card, what they are saying is dapat nagbabayad ka ng taxes for that 5 years before you will qualify for green card. Now, kung hindi ka nag-file o hindi ka nagbayad ng taxes kasi wala ka naman talagang income, then you are not supposed to be filing taxes. But you just have to explain why you are not filing your taxes, no? Pero kung may kita ka naman tapos hindi ka nag-file ng tax mo, then there is a way of actually going back and so late filing ang tawag doon, but you will be penalized, no? But the law naman normally pag may amnesty, may mga penalties din that hey, you have to pay $1,000 because of your unlawful presence or because you would want to avail of the amnesty. So may mga penalties yon. So don't worry about the fact that you have not been paying taxes dahil wala kang income. Yadni, Attorney, about me, can I apply my so citizenship based on marriage, ang bibilangin nyo is 3 years from the time you obtain your green card, not from your wedding date. No? So tingnan mo yung card mo, if you're still married to the same US citizen na nagpetition sa iyo sa spouse visa mo, then you have to wait 90 days before the expiration ng 3rd year green card issuance mo. Pasensya na talaga pag hindi ko mabasa lahat kasi sobrang daming questions na. If mag-out of state ba kami for like 3 months, does it affect my future for filing of citizenship? Ma'am, kung bakasyon lang, walang problema yon. Pero if you are really moving out of the residence mo, then yes, it would affect your citizenship application. Kasi part kasi ng rule doon is dapat you maintain your residence in the US local office that has jurisdiction of your application. So pag nag-move out ka, your application will be denied. So I would recommend na wag kang, as soon as you file your citizenship, wait for your interview before you move out because you might fall into um, pag ma-miss mo to, posible kang ma-deny. Chi Espinosa, attorney, ang ma'am ko po hindi po makapag-finance kasi po nakapetition kami. Yeah. So, ma'am, in your case though, I would really recommend that your mom talk to an immigration lawyer because pag nag-apply ka ng citizenship, it could affect the F2B classification. And traditionally, 5 years additional waiting period yun sa'yo. So, but again, I could not respond to you na marami kasing details na kailangan, but I would recommend your mom to consult a lawyer. Okay? Romer, halimbawa yung mga asawa at anak na nabigyan ng temporary lawful status given the fact na ma-approve ang amnesty, paano po kayo? Pwede pa sila ma-petition? Not at that point though. So, the temporary legal status only kino-contemplate lang niya na dahil wala ka ng lawful status kunwari dito sa US or yung mga nag-expire na yung mga status dito, that they will be protected from being detained or from being deported, no? So then you have to apply for the legal status for the next 5 years kasi 5 years ka pa magko-qualify for the green card. Now, when you become a green card holder, dyan ka pa lang pwede mag-petition doon sa unmarried children mo below 21 years old. So, yun yung magiging sistema, no? But for the time being, once you apply for the temporary legal status, you have to wait for 5 years, hindi ka pa pwedeng mag-petition ng kanino man. Okay? Arenas, attorney, can I take my vacation in the Philippines within my first 3 or 5 years in the US? Yes. Pwedeng magbakasyon, no? But you should not stay outside the United States for 6 months or more because it will affect your citizenship eligibility. Art, may anchor baby pa din po ba? So sa mga taong hindi nakaintindi ng anchor baby, the US kasi recognizes that if you are married, if you are born in the United States, then you automatically qualify for your citizenship. So again, current immigration law recognizes that. So yes, boss, nandun pa rin yung right na yun. What if J1 po and then nag-end na po ang yung status, so wala na pong papers here, nag-overstay na po, pwede pa rin ba? So, then again ma'am, so the proposal dito doesn't say na you have to be in status. It actually covers both people who lost their status or who have maintained the status, which is good news, no? Christian, I have B2 visa, expire na soon, then may immigrant visa rin ako through EB3. We're still waiting for ID in Manila and current na po ang, I said I renew my B2 visa. If you would renew your B2 visa, boss, malamang madidina yon kasi nga nakikita na nila na meron ka ng immigrant visa application. But try, na wala namang mawawala. Hello, Ma'am Jeanette. If on the 5th year we went over 6 months outside the US, we cannot file for citizenship. So current immigration law, ma'am, ngayon, automatic yon, no? Na if you actually stayed outside the United States for 6 months or more, then you lose the eligibility for apply for citizenship. So I understand that a lot of people have been affected because of the pandemic, but then again, you need Congress to provide that exception. As of now, wala pang exception na binibigay ang Congress. Mary, in case for removable condition na ako, makwalify po ako dito sa amnesty or faster relationship. No, ma'am, you don't need this law to be able to apply for citizenship. So you will be eligible for citizenship 3 years from the time of your green card issuance. Okay, so tigilan ko na muna to dahil hindi tayo matatapos. Nasa first page pa lang tayo, no? So, road to citizenship 5+3. Exception, di ba sabi natin, the proposed bill should cover people who are in the United States physically on January 1, 2021. No? Pero sabi niya, pero yung mga na-deport na on or after January 20, 2017 but were physically present for at least 3 years prior to the removal. So ibig sabihin, if yung na-deport na were present in the United States 3 years before January 20, 2017, so that's basically 16, 15, 14. January 20, 2014, nakalabas na ng US kasi deported na sila, they may still be able to qualify for the amnesty. So again, ito lang yung exception na pinoprovide nila. So what does that mean? This is actually good news for people who are actually under proceedings. So yung mga hindi pa nakakaintindi ng under proceedings, ito yung mga taong nabigyan na ng order to appear for the immigration court para i-deport na sila. So, if the proposed bill is actually giving benefit for people na na-deport na as of on or after January 2017, they would be able to come back, apply for temporary status, then green card application later. Ang reason kasi nito is for family unity and humanitarian purposes. So, that's that's a good news for people who are already under proceedings, no? And it actually makes sense kasi a part of the proposal kasi nila, ang goal nito is to declog the courts. So kaya sabi nila, we'll talk about that later, no? Yung bibigyan nila ng mga discretionary powers yung judges to be able to provide green card for people who are actually deserving for this green card. But this is actually good news, no? Kasi kahit nakalabas ka na ng US, at na-deport ka na on or after January 20, 2017. So ito yung mga sinasabi natin kanina na life is unfair if I was deported on January 1, 2017, then you are not covered by the proposed bill. So, but as it is written ngayon, anybody who has been deported on or after January 1, 2017, but who are actually physically present in the United States as of January 20, 2014, then they would be able to come back and apply for the green card or temporary status because that's what the law says. For family unity and humanitarian purposes. So good news for people who are already under proceedings. They will not be deported if this law passes. So then let's talk about our answer questions here. No? Sharina, ask ko lang po if pwede kami mag-expedite ng pag-frontline expedition handling COVID cases that is for K1 visa. So, ma'am, the US Embassy actually provide exceptions for expedited processing. Ang isa na doon is kung ang K2 mo is mag-age out, or if the US citizen petitioner is currently in the Philippines at merong sakit, then you might be able to expedite your case. Or if kung kunwari meron kang anak na US citizen, they will actually prioritize your case at the US Embassy. Another exception is if you are married to a military member, they would expedite the case as well. Marvic, Attorney Nick, pwede ko ba petition ang kapatid ko dito sa state? So, ma'am, depende ma'am, no? Kasi sibling petition will take 23 years to wait before sila ma-approve. So, I just don't know how your sister would be or brother would be able to maintain status that long, no? So, I would recommend that, but I don't recommend it. So, I would recommend na yung kapatid mo maghanap ng other means, whether to apply for a student visa or maybe explore the employment-based options for them to be able to maintain status. Arnie, applicable ba sa akin yung 4 years and 1 day na rule kasi naging LPR po ako 2019, umuwi ako ng Pilipinas for 9 months at nakabalik pa ako. So ma'am, if you've been out of the country for 6 months or more, pagbalik mo, you will be eligible again for citizenship counting from the time na bumalik ka sa US, 4 years and 1 day. That's the current rule ngayon. Aban Ruiz, yung tourist visa ba hindi nakaban ngayon? May mga walang interviews, but yung already have the visas are able to come into the United States. Okay, let's proceed to the next slide. Hindi ko mahahabol guys yung mga tanong nyo sa sobrang dami. Okay? But thank you for raising the question though. So, ano na lang kung anong makikita ko mamaya guys ha. So, kanina pinag-usapan natin yung road to citizenship 5 years plus 3. Ito naman, 0 plus 3. So, ito yung mga sinasabi nila. So, minimize ko muna guys. Road to citizenship 0 plus 3, automatic green cards and citizenship 3 years thereafter. So if this law passes, they will actually give automatic green cards for people who are present in the United States on or before January 1, 2021 because DACA sila or dreamer sila. So this is the deferred action for childhood arrivals, or they are actually part of the countries given temporary protected status. As a matter of fact, the Philippines almost got a TPS nung nagka-Typhoon Haiyan, no? Some years ago, but hindi natuloy yun. But ito yung pag you were actually in the United States because you're victims of calamity or kung anumang issue sa bansa nyo, tapos binigyan ng TPS status yung country mo, they will also give automatic green card for those group. Also, the other good news here is yung mga farm workers. So these basically are the H2A group. Bibigyan sila ng green card agad. So ito yung mga automatic green card application ay mga groups na bibigyan nila ng green card, no? So hindi lahat na who are physically present in the United States, if this law passes, will become eligible for green card immediately. So ito lang grupo na yon. But of course, they must meet certain requirements. We don't know at this point in time kung ano yan. So automatic, kaya zero siya waiting period. Plus 3 years later, they will be eligible for citizenship. So mas beneficial siya with the current immigration law rules now kasi yung 3 years eligibility for citizenship only applies for people who are married to a US citizen and still married to the same US citizen 3 years from the time of the green card issuance. So at least ito ngayon, meron ng additional group who would qualify for citizenship 3 years later from the time they receive their green card. So yun yung proposal nila. So again, let's answer some questions here related to this particular slide ha, kung makikita ko lang. Pwede po ba i-petition ng military citizen ang uncle niya? No. There is no visa category for uncles and aunties. At what if po gumamit ng K1 visa before then bumalik sa Pinas? If the visa gumamit ng K1 visa before 2012 then bumalik sa Pinas 2013, ma'am, if the visa is already expired, then they cannot use the K1 visa anymore. At kung wala silang na-apply na green card or at least travel permit, they cannot come back. They have to have a new application. Art Christian, how about po F1 student visa? So, pakisulat lang ulit sir kung ano yung tanong. How about student visa, expired tourist visa? Yes, they are. So, again guys, summarize ko lang ulit. Yung first slide natin doesn't talk about kung anong visa category ka. No? Ang sinabi lang niya, if you are physically present in the United States as of January 1, 2021, then you are covered by the proposed bill. Question po ulit. I'm a US citizen po. I petition my 86-year-old mother who can accompany her to come here. Ma'am, so either sunduin mo yung nanay mo or you would actually ask some of your relatives or friends who have a visa to accompany them. It's allowed. But some cases you would apply for accompanying relatives, no? They might have a chance of being approved. Try mo yan. Thank you for the 400 plus audience natin, no? Pasensya na hindi ko na talaga masagot lahat. Current green card holders since 2019 can apply for after 3 years. So, depende boss kung saan mo nakuha yung green card mo. If it's through marriage, yes, 3 years from the time of your green card issuance. If not, you have to wait for 5 years. Christina Magno, hello ma'am. My parents got petition from my brother. Their last visit in US was May 19. Since then, they weren't able to come back because of the pandemic. So if they were out of the United States and they are green card holders, ma'am, after 1 year or more, they automatically lost their immigrant status, but they would be eligible for the returning resident to be able to gain back their green card. But it will be a new green card kasi as if mag-a-apply sila ulit ng immigrant visa at the embassy. If you would want to discuss further, please send us a message. Arnie, attorney, follow-up question. Doon po ba sa 4 years and 1 day, bawal po magbakasyon outside the US? Hindi naman, pwede ka naman magbakasyon, yung mga temporary lang, no? Kaya nga, yung mga green card holders natin who would want to apply for citizenship 3 years later if based on marriage or 5 years later based on physical presence, do not stay outside the United States for 6 months or more. So, with the pandemic now, hindi natin alam na apektado yung pagbalik nyo, I would not recommend traveling outside. Sir Al, paano po kung ngayon ka lang mag-overstay sa US? Cover po ba ng amnesty? Probably, yes, boss. Sinabi natin yan kanina. Hello, Ma'am Sally. Paano po kung may pending I-130 currently married to LPM but he is filing using November pero hindi po nakapag-file ng adjust status po before? Okay, so the petitioner is filing for citizenship, hindi po nakapag-file na adjustment of status before, then nag-overstay na and okay, so ma'am, the good thing about being married to a US citizen, so assuming ma'am no, yung spouse mo magiging US citizen na, if yung asawa nila na out of status or even work without authorization, it's deemed forgiven by being married to a US citizen. So don't worry about the overstay and the out of status kasi nga makukure siya. Okay, two questions guys, and I would want to go back to the slides now. Roderick, pag effect na po ba ito, gaano po kayo katagal ang processing ng papers? Pwede ba makauwi agad ng Pinas once makuha ang temp? So, boss, hindi pwedeng magbiyahe yung temporary legal status. But then again, we don't know what will happen when the law is being deliberated upon in Congress, if they would allow people to apply for a travel permit, pending kung nasa sa temporary status pa lang sila, then of course, it will be welcome, no? Pero sa ngayon, I don't think you would be able to travel outside. So back to the slides. One of the focus din ng proposed bill is keeping families together. So how are they going to do that? No? So alam na natin na if you are filing a petition for your sibling now, kapatid mo, it will be a 23 years waiting for them to be able to enter the United States. If you are a spouse of a green card holder, you have to wait for 2 years before you will be able to have an interview at the embassy. So to avoid that, so even yung mga employment-based natin, di ba, no? So we are just happy na current yung status ng mga EB3, EB2 category natin, so mas mabilis yung pagpunta nila sa US. But historically speaking, nagre-retrogress yung employment base. So, and there is a reason why it's happening though. So there's only 140,000 visas available per year, and there's actually a country allocation. So halimbawa, Philippines or any country should not exceed 7% of the total allocation. So nasa mga 9,800 visas available lang per country. So kaya yung mga naunang nag-apply, kung pasok sila doon sa 9,800, so mapaprocess yung visa nila. Pero yung susunod nun, 9,801, maghihintay pa yun kung kailan yung available na visa number. So ngayon, they are saying that, oh, we're gonna clear the backlogs by recapturing unused visas. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Kasi, kunwari, yun na, no, per year, 7% lang allocated per country. So, that for the Philippines means 9,800 visas available. Pero, yung nag-apply nun, hindi natuloy dahil namatay or nag-age out or namatay yung petitioner. So, ito yung tinatawag na unused visas. With the current immigration law now, the government has actually the discretion to use unused visas. So, yun gagamitin nila yun to clear the backlogs. And then eliminating lengthy wait time. So again, ito yung one of the ways para matanggal na, no? So ang recommendation ko for people who are US citizens who plan to file a petition for siblings, sa ngayon 23 years waiting yon. Who knows, no? If this law passes, that they would actually say, oh, no more 23 years waiting, we're just going to approve it based on X number of years. So mas shorten na. So I think it will still beneficial for them. Number 3, increasing per country visa caps. Ang sinabi natin kanina, 7% lang sa ngayon ang allowed per country. So for the Philippines, that's about 9,800 visa available for the employment base. So again, mas malaki pag family-based petitions. Eliminate the so-called 3 years and 10-year bars. So again, keeping families together. So para mas maintindihan nyo anong ibig sabihin ng 3 and 10 years bar, pag kunwari kasi, pumunta ka sa Amerika, nag-overstay ka ng 6 months but less than 1 year, at umuwi ka, na lumabas ka ng United States, you cannot come back to the US for 3 years. Pero if you actually been out of status or nagtago ka na sa US for 1 year or more, then you will be banned from re-entering the US for 10 years. So, ito yung sinasabi nila na what if may petition ako? Now, my sibling petition ako, I've waited for 23 years. Finally, mayroon na akong interview, but since I've been out of status for 1 year or more, then that will be additional 10 years na mababan ako kasi hindi siya pwede mag-apply in the United States. No? Doon siya mag-apply sa embassy. So, they are trying to get rid of that. So, para wala ng 3 years wait hintayan or 10-year hintayan. So, they plan to actually remove that as well. So, another proposal as well in support of keeping families together, yung mga problema natin na nag-i-age out yung mga anak natin, no? Because sa tagal na paghihintay mo, yung anak mo naging more than 21 years old na, or 21 years old na by the time of their interview, and they are not eligible for CSPA, the Child Status Protection Act, then hindi rin sila makakapasok sa United States. So, yan, they are actually trying to get rid of those. Okay, balik tayo dito. Janelle, my mom-in-law is a green card and she wanted to surrender a green card. Pwede ba siya mag-convert to dito? So, ma'am, hindi siya yung tipong i-convert mo lang, no? So, they can return the green card at the embassy and try her luck to apply for a tourist visa. So, malay natin pagbigyan siya ng officer. So, but then again, the rules for tourist visa applications would apply. Dapat may mga strong ties ka so on. But I would still encourage her to apply for the tourist visa after she returned the green card to the embassy. Okay, next slide. Embraces diversity. So this may not apply to the Philippines, but I'll discuss the number one. Prohibits discrimination based on religion. So if you actually remember, Trump actually issued an executive order banning countries who are actually Muslim dominated from entering the United States. On the first day of President Biden, he actually removed that. He actually issued an executive order repealing that executive order. So ngayon, yung Nigeria, Syria, they will be able to come back to be able to enter the United States again kasi nga nag-issue ng executive order si President Biden. Now, increasing diversity visa from 55,000 to 80,000. So again, I will not spend much time on that because generally hindi applicable sa Philippines. To grow US economy. So, paano ba nila daw itutulong to? So, they would plan to clear the backlogs on employment-based petitions. So, yung mga EB3 natin, again, pasalamat tayo na current siya, but again, traditionally, it retrogress. It could be a 2-year waiting period for them. But for the government to be able to support growing the US economy, kasi nakakatulong naman yung mga pumapasok dito ng mga employees, they are actually highly paid, and they will be able to contribute to the economic growth of the country by paying their taxes. They would want to support this. So paano ba daw nila gagawin yun? Again, recapture unused visas. They would reduce lengthy times, eliminate per country cap. So wala may mga 7% na allocation per country. So that's how they plan to do that. The second one, this is good news for the dependents of an H-1B. So H-1B visa holders are those specialty occupations, yung mga may bachelor's degree. So just like a teacher, no? So pag H-1B ka na, yung asawa mo, yung mga anak mo, are called H4 dependents. The problem with that though is they cannot work kasi dependent na sila ng H1B, and it really affected the financial condition of the family kasi ang mangyayari ngayon yung H1B nanay or tatay lang ngayon ang nagtatrabaho. So with the proposed bill, they would allow those dependents to apply for a work permit, which is a good news. Make it easier for US grads with advanced STEM, so science, technology, engineering, math degrees to stay in the United States. So currently ngayon, if you are a master's degree, you have benefits kasi palaging current yung visa category na to. But then again, mahirap pa rin magharap ng employer. So I just don't know how Congress would implement this number 3 to make it easier for US grads. So will they implement na pwede mag-self-petition yung mga graduates na yon? We don't know, right? But that's actually one of the promises to make it easier for US grads in the United States with advanced STEM degrees. So ito yung mga master's degree, doctorate, no? To stay in the United States. So again, balik tayo dito. Hello, Sir Mark. For those of us who paid tens of thousands of dollars to do it legally, we will be reimbursed for some of our money. Sir, I cannot answer that question, no? So then again, I'm not here to defend the fairness of the proposal. I'm just trying to explain what the proposal is. Sam, attorney, may chance po bang ma-naturalize ako kahit patay na ang father ko at out of wedlock ko, willing mag-help ang father ko? So I'm not so sure, sir, if you are in the United States or outside the United States. Yeah, I would recommend that you send me a message to talk about your case. Attorney, what if 10-year tourist visa po galing Haiti and then pwede po ba mag-apply ng green card o paano po mag-apply ng green card? So, ma'am, it's a long conversation. I would recommend that you send a formal consultation kasi it depends on where you're getting your green card, whether it's a family-based or the employment-based. So, I would recommend to set up. Luciana, attorney, how long is the waiting period to petition my married daughter? Ma'am, kung magsisimula ka pa lang ngayon, nasa mga between 11 to 15 years na ang waiting period for married children. Okay, let's proceed with the next slide. Patapos na ako dito, no? So dito lang, eliminate per country cap. So yun ang sinasabi nila kanina na tatanggalin nila ngayon yung 7% allocation per country. So mas mapabilis. Immigration court system. So this is very interesting. And then let's talk bakit siya interesting. So if you actually look into the proposed bill, hindi siya nakafocus on the law enforcement portion. So if the previous president is actually saying that, yeah, we're going to deport everybody, especially those who are actually having criminal records, if you look into the proposal, mas focus sila on improving the immigration system, no? So use of the new technology, providing judges with training and discretion to review cases and grant relief to deserving individuals. So maybe in the hearings in court, once you'll be able to argue your case, it will be a lot easier for them to convince the judge not to deport the person. So again, mas focus sila ngayon on enforcement against narcotics and contraband at ports of entry, but not immigration law. So I'm not saying that they will not deport, but then again, it's aligned kasi sa plano nila. So kung yung na-deport na nga noong January 2017, pwedeng bumalik at be able to apply for the temporary status, then the green card, and citizenship later. So how much more for people who are already here, no, facing deportation. So again, that's interesting, no? Let's see how it works in Congress. Tapusin na lang natin yung slide para focus na lang tayo sa questions. Protection for victims. So they are also saying that they're gonna put in place some remedies na would protect the U visa. So victims of a crime, victims of human trafficking, this is the T visa, and victims of domestic violence. So they also plan to increase the U visa from 10,000 to 30,000 visa numbers available per year. And then, ito yung sinasabi natin kanina that they are not actually focusing more on the enforcement. As a matter of fact, they would want to solve the source of or the reasons of bakit maraming undocumented aliens in the United States. They're gonna put in 4 billion interagency plan to solve undocumented immigration from El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. So, yun yung plano nila, no? So, again, I think that's the last slide I have. So, let's go back to the questions. So, pakita na ko ulit ha. Teka lang, sandali. So, we're just answering questions here. If J1, J2 visa kami and expires this year, can we overstay and apply? Sir, I don't want to advise na mag-overstay ka because then again, this is just a proposal. Hindi pa siya law. And the risk that you are taking is what if this will not pass? Then you are already overstaying. So what I would recommend you doing is talk to a lawyer, sir, to explore ano yung options mo pwedeng gawin to be able to maintain status. Tonight, Gutierrez, can I apply for my citizenship with 3 years continuous residency and not waiting for 5 years, a green card holder, EB3. Ma'am, you have, tonight, you have to wait for 5 years. Yung po kaso ng fixed marriage, may pag-asang makasama. So, again, sir, ito yung sinabi ko kanina, no, na how is Congress going to reconcile people who actually have fraud issues or misrepresentation? Because according to the current immigration law now, people who are found to be guilty of entering into fixed marriages, there is no remedy for them. So even if nagkaanak sila, naghintay sila ng 21 years para pwede na silang ipetisyon ng anak nila, they are still not able to get their green card because because of the finding of the fixed marriages. So that's why I would really encourage people not to go into the fixed marriages because kagaya ng mga frivolous application for asylum, once it's denied because they found out that it is fraud, based on fraud, wala nang remedy doon. You will never ever get your green card based on any other way of doing, based on the current immigration policies and rules. So, hindi natin alam with this new proposal, ano magiging proposal ng Congress in the cases na, yun nga, mayroon silang fraud, fixed marriage finding. Christina, another question po, will they consider my daughter's education in the Philippines if, for example, she is on 8th grade now, hindi po ba siya uulit ng level pagdating? Ma'am, I cannot answer that. It's actually more of the educational system, not an immigration question. Sorry. Does the VAWA only focus on spousal abuse or will it include abuse by biological father in the Philippines or vice? Ma'am, it's a more bigger conversation. So I would recommend that you set up a formal consultation with any immigration attorney. Okay. Madeline, my husband is R1 and I'm R2 independent. Our visa has expired like 3 years ago and he's working outside of his visa employment. Are we covered? Yes. Not current immigration law though. But if this law passed, yes, you will be covered. Sir Jerry, matagal nag-work sa US more than 20 years, hindi sila na-deport, uwi na lang ng Pinas, maka-avail ba sila ng amnesty? Boss, I would recommend na wag mo na silang umalis habang nandito pa yan. What the proposal covers are only people who are deported. No? So if they actually voluntarily left the United States, then they will not be covered by the proposed amnesty. Luciana Cruz, attorney, yung mga nag-apply po ba ng temp legal status, can they work legally? The proposal seem to provide them, kasi kung isipin mo ma'am, they will, how will they be able to support themselves if they will not be given the benefit of applying for a work permit? So if they are already given the path to green card, then a citizenship, most likely they will be given privilege to apply for the work permit. How about po yung diplomat visa, kasama po ba? So again, boss, walang sinabi kung anong visa category mo. For as long as you are physically present in the United States, then you will be covered by the proposal. So it's already 10:51. So we've already been 30 minutes over, but hindi ko masasagot lahat. So I will just choose 5 more questions, then we will be okay. Okay. So, may mga nakikita akong mga angry emojis, no? So, I hope they are not angry with me, but they are agree with the topic, but it's okay. Does BAWA only focus on Spag? Yan, nasagot ko na yan. Tonight, nasagot ko na yan. Greta, good PM po, attorney. Can I ask po, I am a J1 visa holder sa June, expiring visa ko, but then, umuwi po ako last November 2020, I resigned. Is there possibility makapag-apply ako ng J1 ulit? So, ma'am, as a J1 visa holder, you are already allowed maximum of 5 years. So, I would recommend that you talk to your J1 sponsor if there will be J1 employers willing to hire you. Jex, may way po ba para maisabay ko na papunta sa US ang common law wife ko? Sir, the only way for you to bring your wife is magpakasal kayo. So there is, current immigration law does not recognize common law wedding or marriages. So for you to be able to bring officially your partner now, you have to get married. Hello, Ma'am Jen. The reason bakit nag-delay ka, ma'am, is because of the suspension by Trump, no? So it's still being extended until March 31, and it is a law, no? Executive orders has the effect of a law. So wala tayong magagawa kundi maghintay na i-lift ni Biden yon, or when the law expires on March 31. Ed Serrano, J1, J2 kami, then expires this year. Can we overstay? And honestly, again, I would not recommend overstaying. Ma'am Cortina, I'm late. Ma'am, review mo na lang yung recorded naman to. Ano po ang documents na dapat namin i-ready sakali maipasa ang bill? Okay, very good question, that to Prince, no? Balikan ko na lang yung mga slides and then we can talk about the eligibility requirement. So, ang requirement niya is foreign nationals who are present in the United States on or before January 21, 2021. So, make sure that you have anything, no? Any bills, yung visa stamp mo, or yung I-94 mo and prove na hindi ka lumabas ng US can be used to actually prove that you are physically present in the United States. So any document na nandun ang pangalan mo at nandun ang address mo, then it is dated January 1 or earlier, then it could actually be used as evidence na or proof ng number 1. Pay their taxes, of course, you have to file 1040. To be able to show that you pay taxes. But then again, kung wala ka namang kita, there is no obligation for you to pay taxes because wala kang income. 3, pass a criminal national security check. You don't have to prepare anything about this because the FBI, they're gonna look into your criminal records and they will have access to that. So again, you have to apply for a temporary legal status. I would presume that this is another application that you need to submit. And then apply for green card after 5 years. So again, any document that would show your physical presence in the United States with your name and address could actually help you. So dapat dated yung document na to. Mga bank statements, utility bills, and all that could actually help you. Okay? So maraming salamat. Hindi ko na kayang sagutin lahat. But again, thank you for being with me. That's basically what the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021 is all about. This is actually based on what they actually posted online, because the official copy of the bill has not been shared publicly yet. It is composed of hundreds of pages, so what we can only see are snippets of what the bill looked like. And I really hope that you were able to understand or get a glimpse of the proposed bill, the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. Maraming salamat po. Kung kaya kong sagutin isa-isa mamaya, I would, but I'll try ko na lang. Maraming salamat po. Bye-bye.